I gave all the kids extra time. They're all allowed. They're all allowed. They both did the time. We have to have the sign language. Remember the sign language? So they both have to take one time. I have to tell them.
Council members, please take your seat. I call the June 13th, 2017 regular Hanahan City Council meeting to order.
What's next on the agenda, Mayor?
I would like to welcome Pastor Mike from Foster Creek Baptist Church. Pastor Mike will deliver an invocation for tonight.
Let's bow and pray. Our gracious God and Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the opportunity you've given to us to be citizens of this great city of Hanahan. Thank you for our mayor. We thank you for each of the individuals on our city council, for all our city leaders. Thank you for all that you have given to us. And tonight, as we have this meeting, we pray that you would give to each of the councilmen and councilwomen the insight they need, the wisdom necessary for the decision making that will be required. And we ask that in all the deliberations you would receive honor and glory here tonight from all that's done. We ask your blessing upon our leaders. May they not only be safe, but prosper as they seek to do that which is pleasing in your sight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
It is an honor and a privilege to welcome Caden Charlton as our honorary mayor for tonight. Caden is the son of Amber and Jason Charlton. Officer Charlton is our school resource officer at Hanahan Middle School. Caden is in the 4th grade at Newington Elementary School. He was on the All-A honor roll for the year and is a member of student council. Caden is a chicken farmer, loves dogs, student council, and he loves making and growing his own food. That's why you guys should have chickens here in Hanahan. Caden is an active member of this youth group, which is at Cornerstone Baptist Church. He loves hockey and plays Little League ice hockey at the Ice Palace. Caden would like to play for the Washington Capitol hockey team when he grows up. He is here tonight with his father, Officer Charlton, his mother, Amber, his grandmother, Karen, and his amazing 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Patton.
Can you please stand up?
Just Miss Patton.
Your mom and dad.
Now, Caden, there's something else that you have another relative to here tonight too, right? Who is that?
You. Yes.
And how are we related?
She is my 4th cousin, twice removed.
Right. Y'all didn't know that, did you?
He's got pull.
Huh?
He's got pull.
He's got pull, that's right. You get a card to get out of jail free card. You may not get it to your dad or your mom or that special teacher from the group. Got it? All right. Caden, will you and Councilmember Sally lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May be seated. Mayor Carlson, what's the next on our agenda?
Recognitions. Chief Turner, will you join us in swearing in our new officer, Brock Tomlin?
He is hereby advised.
Sure, but why don't I let the mayor
David,
know?
get even better.
Okay, how about that? Can you sit right here?
Step right here.
And you can hold the Bible.
All right. All right, you place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Brock Tomlin,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of the state,
according to the Constitution of the state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been appointed,
to which I've been appointed,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve,
and preserve,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state and the United States.
the Constitution of this state and the United States.
I further solemnly swear
I further solemnly swear
that during my term of office
that during my term of office
as a police officer,
as a police officer,
I will study the act prescribing my duties,
I will study the act prescribing my duties,
will be alert and vigilant
will be alert and vigilant
to enforce the criminal laws of the state,
to enforce the criminal laws of the state,
and to detect and bring to punishment
and to detect and bring to punishment
every violator of these laws.
every violators of these laws.
I will conduct myself at all times
I will conduct myself of all times
with due consideration to all persons,
with due consideration of all purposes,
and will not be influenced
and will not be influenced
in any manner
in any manner
on account of personal bias
on account of personal bias
or prejudice.
or prejudice.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Right there. Walk the road. Brock comes to us from Chester County. He worked at Chester for right about a year, and he was actually in the academy with Officer Allgood, who just graduated about a month ago. Heard a lot about Hanahan and did an initial job interview. I was at a baseball tournament. I don't know where he was in the upstate, but he brings a lot to the table. He actually has about 20 years of experience in law enforcement. He from Wisconsin, was a cop up north for a while. He worked in South Carolina for a little while, Fairfield County, and then went to Virginia, where while in Virginia, he became a dog handler. And one story that I think is very interesting and shows a lot about his character is he responded to an incident in Virginia where a state trooper had been shot and killed. He got there about 20 minutes right after it happened. He deployed his canine and tracked the suspect and was able to take him into custody without any further harm, and he actually received a meritorious award for that. He actually breeds police dogs on the side too, so he brings a lot to the table, and I'm very excited that he's here. So once again, congratulations.
Chief Turner, will you please present service recognition pins to Sergeant Lampier and Detective Dirk?
Spouses too. Something that was started, I guess, right about a year ago when Hillary came on board was recognizing employees that are tenured. Your 5-year mark, the 10-year mark, 15, 20-year mark, which is, I think it's very good that we're doing it. Both of these officers, some of you may know him, some of you may not. Detective Durant, he's been with both of them been here 10 years. He's been in investigations for the past going on 6 years. He's proven over the time, we started together, or he started investigations about the time I was coming out, and he's proven himself to be a very dedicated detective. He'll take cases where it looks like there's nothing that can be done with it, and he will just stay on it, even after sometimes being told, hey, let it go, move on, and bring clearances. He's, I think when it comes to property crime, he's probably the most effective detective that we have had since I've been here. Sergeant Lamphere, many of y'all know him. He's also been here 10 years. He started out as a patrolman and then became a dog handler. He was a very successful canine handler. His was canine Shadow, who actually passed away in the line of duty. But during that, he was very effective helping other agencies, seized an ungodly amount of drugs, tracked down numerous suspects, and since after being a canine handler, he's become a sergeant, and he's definitely a go-getter out there, and both of them done an excellent job. So what we have is for Durant, his certificate. I'm going to pin you. Travis, here's your certificate for 10 years of service. Don't make me believe. I personally want to tell you, I know we've talked a lot over the past couple of weeks. I'm very impressed with what you're doing with the city, and as a police chief, but more importantly, as a citizen of the city and raising a child here, I sleep well at night knowing that you're on the road. So I thank you. I have full faith in what you're doing. A lot of citizens here, you've helped them, you've brought resolution to them, and I thank you for what you're doing too. I'm proud that you're one of our detectives. Just a little tiny bit. One smile, please. On three. 1, 2, 3. One more time, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Wait, where are you guys going, Grant? Y'all come back.
Shake your hands. Y'all gonna shake the hands.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for letting.
Chief Turner, please join us in recognizing Steve and showing the
Colonel. I'm gonna bring in 4 more officers real quick that participate in this. Let me get them out here. This is Officer Callahan. This is K-9 Jasmine. This is Officer Carnes. This is K-9 Otto. Move your Colonel. They're not the best. The Colonel had contacted, has lived in Hanahan now for 11 years, 3 years. He is 26 years of service in the Army. He retired. He did 8 years as an ROTC instructor. He reached out to us several months ago wanting to do something for the police department, specifically the K-9 program. First, he talked to us about wanting to purchase a dog, which I talked to you in the spring about that, and then about body armor. Both of the dogs are issued body armor. And I never knew these existed until Officer Carnes told me about it. They're cooling vests for the dogs. It's a nylon vest that has like little ice packets in it that you put in the refrigerator, and it freezes up, which is very important because, you know, right now it's 85, 90 degrees out there, and we'll get them out and we'll start running tracks, mile, 2 miles, doing different things, and it's to help protect the dogs, because I mean they're definitely an investment, but they're also, we consider them officers, just like this one and the others in here. So I want to thank you for thinking of us and donating these cooling vests to the city. And actually, the Charleston County Sheriff's Office has asked that we bring the cooling vest next week to training so they can see them. So I think that's going to be something they're going to explore. And I think, is there anything you'd like to say? Or?
Since we've been in Hanahan, we've enjoyed the police department. They've been there for us. We've seen them all come out, and they work for the community, and we appreciate it. Even you fire guys. I don't want to see you at night.
So, thank you. Thank you, sir. You want to
I'm going to try to get their attention without, you guys have the leash, right?
Yes. Maybe.
All right. You want to look at me and smile? That didn't work. That did not work. That's all I've got. One more time, big smile. I'm not going to offer him another chance.
Jasmine is how old?
She will be 8 next month.
And where is she from?
Hungary.
Hungary. Otto's from Germany. Otto is how old? 6. Otto's about 120 to 130 pounds. She's 70.
She's sitting right about 72.
Yes. So, thank you. And I've gone ahead, before the meeting, I filled him in on our fall festival that we have coming up. A couple months ago, we'll definitely be being a veteran. We will definitely be reaching out to you and inviting you to the veterans ceremony.
Appreciate it, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, I got it. I'll give it to you. And I got a couple extra Charleston County. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Chief Bowers, will you please join us in swearing in our new firefighter, Justin
I state your name. Do solemnly swear to faithfully execute the duties entrusted to me by the fire chief of the city of Hanahan. I will serve my commanding officers with respect and dignity. I will honor the citizens of our city through my compassion, courage, and integrity. I will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of South Carolina. I will enforce the laws and ordinances of the city of Hanahan and promote the mission, vision, and values of the Hanahan Fire Department. So help me God. There you go. And then we're going to get, this is Justin's father, Tommy Esposito. Justin follows underneath his, he's a second-generation firefighter. He's following under his dad and his older brother as firefighters. So here with him tonight is his mom, Cindy, and his girlfriend, Katie. So, Mr. Espo, if you can draw the blood. All right. Thank you, sir.
Come over here and sign. Thank you,
All right.
Jen. Welcome aboard. Thank you.
He did.
You've already got one.
Yeah, he did. That's
Say the last one.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
He's good. There you go. Got one.
Chief Bowers, will you please introduce our new paramedic, Carrie Betts?
Carrie Beth, please. Carrie Beth comes from Berkeley County EMS. She's been a paramedic for 9 years. We're doing things a little bit different this year. This time, we hired our paramedic, and we have her currently in firefighting classes right now, and she tests Saturday. So she will be fire certified come Saturday. Her husband is an officer, naval officer. Robert, she has 3 children. Saber is here tonight. No, Trevor's here. Saber and Katie are the other children. So we're glad to have Carrie Beth. She's a good medic. She's been trying to get on with the City of Hanahan for about 1.5 years now, and we were able to change some things, so we're glad to bring her on board to help our paramedic staff. So next month, we should have her back so we can swear her in as a firefighter. So all right. It's great to see you next month.
Mom and Dad, join me up front. Just pat my
Katie, you got to say KKT.
You want to?
That's what you want to tell her when she was advised.
All right. And we'll get y'all right in here in the center. There you go. Okay, and on behalf of Mayor Minnie and the Hanahan City Council, we would like to thank you for serving tonight as honorary mayor for the June 13th, 2017 Hanahan City Council meeting. Students today are the future leaders tomorrow, and we want to encourage you to help build a stronger community for your family and for future generations, because your efforts do make a difference. Thank you so very much for serving tonight. And there you go. And listen, make sure you get a copy to your teacher and you give it to Mr. Pye, okay? Okay.
wouldn't mind, what I've noticed is a lot of times I have them sitting and I can't see them. Do you mind standing if I can get everyone in the shots?
Yeah,
That'd be
I'll
great.
do some exercise.
All right, thank you. Everyone on three? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. And do we really want Mr. Charlton in the photograph?
No.
One more shot. On three. 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Oh. All right, there we go. Gift bag, some goodies in there, okay? And you know what? If you catch that fireman that you just swore in, tell him he has to give you a ride on the fire truck. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have our consent agenda. Items are adopted with a single motion, a second, and a vote unless the request for removal is heard from a council member. Items on the June 13th, 2017 consent agenda are the approval of the minutes from May the 9th, 2017 regular city council meeting, approval of the minutes. Pardon me?
Citizens' comments.
Sorry about that, but it's not on there. All right, the meeting is now open for citizens' comment. That's anything that's on the agenda. Anyone would like to speak? Okay, now, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes from May the 9th, 2017, regular city council meeting. Approval of the minutes from May the 23rd, 2017, council workshop. Approval of the minutes from the May the 30th, 2017, special city council meetings. Approval to purchase used Stryker Power Pro 6500 XD from vendor Jasper County in the amount of $5,000. Do I have a motion to approve the June the 13th, 2017 consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just, have we got any update on where that, I saw where we have the case out, I guess, or whatever you want to say, about the missing stretcher. Anything come back since?
No, sir. Nobody's been able to locate it or give us any update.
I would like to add to that as well. Is there a marking on there? I'm assuming
Yes, ma'am.
that says-
It was engraved on the plate stating City of Hanahan property. City of Hanahan Fire EMS was engraved on it, and when we got it back, it was not with the ambulance.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have any questions? Kim, will you call for the motion, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Dyson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainwater. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilmember Chandler.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainwater.
Aye.
Councilmember Owens.
Aye.
Councilmember Sally. Mayor Newman.
Aye. Next, under unfinished business, Mr. Cribb will discuss our fiscal year 2017-2018 budget. Mr. Cribb, you have the floor.
Yes, ma'am. This is the 2017-18 budget. It's the same version as the first reading, no changes. As you know, we made some changes between the budget workshop and the first reading. So I'll go through this again quickly. Let me know if you got any questions or if you want me to slow down. Tax rate will not change this budget year. The 2016-17 millage rate is 56.2. This budget also uses a millage rate of 56.2 mils, so no tax increase adjusted. General fund revenue and expenditures by department. It just shows how each department's done this year. Basically, in order for us to figure out next year's budget or get an idea of where we're at, we've got to try to project and predict how we're going to finish this year. So this shows department by department expenditures. basically it comes to these totals. We budgeted $9,446,120 in expenditures. As of March 31st, we were at $6,228,000. Our projection is $8,600,000.
The playground for the rec fields, has that already been chosen or not yet? Not yet.
Any other questions?
And I said last time, we have 4 to 12-year-olds playing in the area that playground's going to go. So we will be looking for it. There might be a piece that's like tot, like for the really little ones, and there may be a piece for the 9, 10, 11, 12-year-olds that want to play on it. So we'll try to gear it toward the age of the folks that we got, and also knowing siblings will be there as well.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 2-2017, fiscal year budget for 2017-2018?
Move that we approve ordinance 2-2017, fiscal year budget 2017-2018.
Any discussion? Call for the motion, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Dyson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges.
Aye.
Councilmember Chandler.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainwater.
Aye.
Councilmember Owens.
Aye.
Councilmember Sally.
Aye.
Mayor Newman.
Aye. Next, under new business, we have resolution number 5-2017, which is amendment to the multi-county industrial park agreement at 2017 North Fork Industrial Boulevard Park. And we have the attorney with Central Fork Properties Trust, Heather, and I hope I'm getting your last name. It is
Chavarro.
Chavarro is here to explain the resolution and answer any questions that the council may have. Heather, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you and for considering our resolution. I'm Heather Chavarro with the Lumble Carlisle Law Firm here on behalf of North Signal Capital, respectfully requesting approval of the resolution which would designate the 2 properties located off of North Point Industrial Boulevard as multi-county industrial park. We expect the designation of a multi-county industrial park to be attractive to potential tenants, which will add to Hanahan's economy. And we're so very excited about the opportunity to bring North Signal Capital to Hanahan. Thank you again, and I'm happy to try to answer your questions.
Make a motion we approve resolution number 5-2017.
Second.
Any
Just a question. When the multi-park was done originally, that was back in '95, and it said for a period of 10 years. So we're renewing another 10 years for the same park.
These are 2 brand new parcels.
So it's 2 new parcels, but it's in
Continuing the
continuation of the park. Is this for only those 2 parcels as far as this agreement goes?
Yes, no, yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't impact the city of Hanahan's budget tax consequences at all.
It's basically, the more employees you hire, the better. So basically, it's an incentive for new businesses to come in to hire a lot of employees.
I was just curious if it was just the 2 parcels or if it was the entire park.
There's a couple of existing ones that the council's already ruled on, and those are independent and ongoing. So this is the 3rd time maybe we've done this.
It's just 2 particular parcels.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, I have a first and I have a second, so if there's no other questions.
I have one other question, actually. So you're building this industrial park, do we know exactly what businesses are going in there?
Yeah, if that has not been decided upon, we need to know that we're going to be approved for the incentive, and then we can start advertising.
It gives them, the businesses who move in there, an employee tax credit.
Right.
So, from the state, doesn't have to be, we just have to approve.
Can we call for the motion, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Dyson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges.
Aye.
Councilmember Chandler.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainwater.
Aye.
Councilmember Owens.
Aye.
Councilmember Sally.
Aye.
Mayor Newman.
Aye. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Next on our agenda, we have reports and comments, and this time the meeting is open for citizens' comments, and if you would please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record. Okay, there being none, we'll go ahead and move on. City Administrator's report, please, Mr. Cribb.
Yes, ma'am. A few updates. U.S. government property, no change on that. Fall of 2017 is the timeline we've been told for the transfer of the 53-acre property. The road projects, Tom Lewis was here at the last meeting. Yeamans and Murray was addressed by Berkeley County Council last night. Tom has tried to use Banks Construction in a change order on a current project they're doing so they can get on this project this summer. Doing it when school's out is going to be critical. They were able to get estimates from Banks, and it's $8,000 under budget, which almost never happens right now. So it's $292,000, it's $300,000 budget. And Berkeley County Council will address that as a full council here coming up. Last night was on the 26th. Last night was a committee meeting, and the recommendation was to approve it. So that project will begin quickly because August the 15th is when school starts back, and we definitely need to have it done. Tanner Plantation Foster Creek Trail, the fence along the detention pond at the gardens is scheduled to go in this week, and also the grading along the edge of the trail should be completed this week. The final thing will be trees and landscaping, which are supposed to be completed next week. So we're hoping to close out this project next week when DOT would come and do an inspection. I've got a lot of calls, is the trail open yet? Is the trail not open yet? It's not open yet, but imagine policing it and telling people get off the trail. They're really not doing anything to hurt it. And to tell people to get off of it, walking in the grass. None of our officers would want that assignment. We wouldn't want to give it to them. So anyways, they're not hurting anything, and but it's not done. Yeah, it's officially not done. The Village Renaissance Grant, no change there. Again, that project's supposed to be done in September 2017. Town Center TIF project, we did a council workshop on May the 25th. The charrette was on June the 1st, and we had about 50 people that attended that public charrette, so we were really pleased with the turnout. And we've also talked to a lot of individuals since the charrette that weren't able to come, and they've been calling just to see what's going on. We've been emailing the PowerPoint and all that good stuff. So I'm excited about that. Stantec's going to compile all the feedback and basically come up with a concept plan. They met with staff, and met with council, and met with the public. And in August, they will unveil a concept plan for the town center project. So then we'll have an idea of basically what it looks like and what we can afford to do. To get you prepared, it almost always involves prioritization. They tried to get an idea of council when they met with us. Buried power lines, where is that? Is that a high priority? The intersection, is that a high priority? I mean, because ultimately, you may not get every single thing that's in the pretty picture that they bring back. But that's not unlike any other project that we have ever done. Traffic on Yeamans Hall Road, we did get contacted by Senator Grooms this past week. DOT directed a member of their District 6 office to come over here and meet with Chief Turner and I. Right now, they're addressing the signs that we didn't have any luck on before. So they're going to add new signage on Henry Brown, new signage on Remount Road, and new signage on Hanahan Road. So we're actually posting it before you actually get on the road you're not allowed to be on, which is Murray and Yeamans Hall Road. Obviously, trucks with more than 6 tires can come and make deliveries and all that good stuff. But it's enticing cut through to circumvent some of the traffic in our area. So police officers have been trying to crack down on that because it really is a problem. But Chief Turner would tell you can't win because when you pull over a truck, those are good people, trying to make a living, and there we are pulling over a truck. So hopefully this signage will really eliminate or minimize some of the traffic stops we're happening there. As you can imagine, if there's no sign there and you already turn on Yeamans Hall Road in the Dominion Hills, how do you turn back around? So we're excited at least about that. That's one victory. We also asked them to consider changing the speed limit from Murray to Henry Brown, from 30 to 25 through there. Difficult coming in and out of your driveway, and a lot of established shrubs and trees and hills, and it's just problematic. So, again, Senator Groom's been a big help to us. Flooding, Turkey and Goose Creek, Turkey Creek, Goose Creek. Obviously, we sent a letter to the Army Corps of Engineers for assistance. And we've also budgeted matching funds in this year's budget coming up to pay any matching funds for the study. We also went to the Berkeley County Stormwater meeting. Kelsey Gagnon, that's on the works for Berkeley County, was actually at our meeting that night, so she heard everything. We gave a briefing to the Stormwater Committee to let them know, and also county staff know there, that we may need to use county staff for some of our match in-kind contribution. We may need to use stormwater funds as a match for the study, and potentially a capital project at the end. So it was an opportunity for us to basically sell that. And the good thing was is Kelsey actually sold it as much as I did that day from the county, because she got to see it firsthand from the residents. A few notes. Kim will kill me, but Kim's birthday is Friday, and Randy's is Saturday, so happy birthday to Kim and Randy.
29.
Offices closed, obviously, July the 4th. I wanted to give council a heads up. I never miss, but I will miss in July. I'll be in Kansas City for a week with my daughter. Not at a softball tournament, but it'll just be me and her. Randy will be heading things up and giving a report. We'll adjust his pay accordingly next month, but I'll be out of state. And also, July 20th through the 23rd is the Municipal Association Conference coming up. We're pretty excited about that because there's some downtown revitalization. There's some good police topics on there, fire and all kind of other departments, and some really good downtown stuff. So looking forward to those sessions.
Thank you, Jim.
Questions?
Good question.
Where are the signs going for Yeamans Hall Road? Like, say you're coming down or coming up North Brett, you're going to be turning on Yeamans. Are they going to be at the light where they would turn? Are they going to be where you have no clue yet?
We drew X's on the map, so I got a little bit of a clue. But it's DOT they know exactly what size the sign needs to be and where it needs to be.
Okay.
So those engineers will ultimately decide that. But it's prior to turning on Yeamans Hall Road, a good enough distance to where it's not sudden and abrupt. And also coming from the other direction, there'll be a sign. We just put X's on a piece of paper, and they'll go back and they've got guidelines that they use on where these things need to be.
Thank you.
Speaking of signs, anyway, Larry Grooms can get us a high school. We got 3 state champions that were recognized tonight at the school board meeting, plus the wrestling championships in the back and whatever else Hanahan has done for years. Would he be willing to talk with some sort of other kind of fellow?
A letter from the mayor and council would be good to make that request.
Okay, anything else? Okay, at this time we will council mayor comments. Is there any comments from anybody?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. That's fine. You took that seat.
Yes, ma'am. Many of us up here, except for Christie, showed up to the distinguished gentleman.
Would you just get to the point?
Any which way, again, we are very lucky. We are very lucky to have Ricardo Harry as a member of our community. The things that he does outside of policing in Hanahan is quite amazing, and every time I've been able to attend, it just reaffirms how great the city is and the people in it that make it so good. Yep.
Thank you. We also want to make sure that we keep Christie's father-in-law in our prayers and for speedy recovery, and also Mr. Jimmy Tillman. So if you'll continue to pray for those. Do I have a motion to, oh, sorry.
I have one more thing, sorry. One thing I mentioned I just want to throw out there for staff as well, with the downtown revitalization going on, as well as space just opening up in the Tanner Plantation Bilo Shopping Center, I would love for us to look into incentives specifically for restaurants and or boutiques to come that would bring in additional tax revenue, provide for our local residents. Would like to just see what we could do for them.
We have a truck rodeo. Don't let Christy and I get together. Okay, I had already had a motion to adjourn from.
Second.
That's it, so call for the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Dyson.
Aye.
Councilmember Hodges.
Aye.
Councilmember Chandler.
Aye.
Councilmember Rainwater.
Aye.
Councilmember Owens.
Happy birthday, Cal.
Thank you.
Aye.
Councilmember
Aye.
Sally.
Aye.
Mayor Lewis.
Aye. And our next regular council meeting will be Tuesday, July the 11th at 6:30. Happy birthday, Randy Moneymaker and Kim Peters.
We got our own. It's a way easier to understand. Again, huh?
Question for you. Question for you. We've got.
The admin office
If something happens, I'll address it that one.
I mean, I know it has to be, it has to be built up. It's like the time is late,
Your father's doing okay? I'll get you out.
I talked to my dad.
That could be an option.
How are you?
Tulane.
How are you?
He actually went home.
It wasn't expected.
That's what we're going to see. Josh Johnson with DOT tomorrow.
Yeah, it does. And she's down in Florida, right? Is she gonna stay down there? She's here? Okay. They are. Okay, that's what, all Mackenzie's been there for a while. Good luck next month.
You don't look at everything.
Because they're 18. at the house play. The guy on the team who's already in college, or just graduated. But she was 50% traumatized by the conversations on the team. So it ain't, your ability, you can play with them ability-wise, great, but emotionally, you don't. She got a little freaked out when the game ended. 3 of the pieces on the team. I should never seen anything like that. And she was like, even their coaches, 2007. No. But anyway, that pretty tore out because the game was over. So I was like, man, now my kids are nursing. Half the team is solid. They'll play the right side. And I would like to. We talked about it. We said, we got her on a good path.
You did, and you're there. I'm just calling.
Yeah. But it was a great trip. I thought she was being intimidated.
And happy anniversary. Thank you.
She looked which surprised me.
You tell get there's some hours Friday.
The guy who runs their organization, coaches that team, he's the guy that's connected. That team, she was on the irrigation. 18 out of 18 of the girls are either in college playing or committed.
I want to say scholarship money, and they'll be eyeing her up real close.
Well, the College of Charleston catcher came up to her. And my thought was,
I'm with you. I think people read that because when you show on there, there's like a 13% fee, so you should credit card. I think people don't see it.
She's dead set on CSU. You don't think
the rules are that each HOA can choose to pay.
She through church, she's met a lot of kids at CSU. Right, and they're awesome. So her opinion of CSU is, even Liberty, she wants to go CSU and Liberty. A lot of the concerts, people that work the concerts are being sponsored by Liberty, and she needs to probably the best of the best in Liberty.
Because if they're not paying up, they're
like I said, the youth leaders at our church, a lot of people at our church are CSU. She thinks they're all like the coolest, best people she knows. So she probably thinks the whole campus is full of, really wonderful people or something.
So,
anyway.
They can't tell really what they do, because they're the master of all of if we could, when we went to Northern, if we could, I'm driving him now. I would have been heartbeat. I would have.
He knows we got a road trip coming up. He doesn't know where.
How are you? You did well last night?
They don't charge us. It wasn't all hard, like where the other people we had a couple years
Okay, you
ago.
were still there.
All
right.
And he saw the,
I mean, they're only going to do
fellowship and all that, and then just the camaraderie. And up until then, we never really talked about where he was. And then he just called the fire. And I thought, well, he hadn't seen so then they had $55. I think he could get it. And he's
the amount that's owed is $420. $30, whatever it winds up being.
That's to where he was in.
They write a check for $400. So he's got same dues. He's paid, and then we get everything. We don't have to settle for his 10% collections and all of that.
Every once in a while I go look at the GIS for things that look like.
Well, you need to have somebody educated.
I could be wrong, that's why July 17th.
Walking trail. Is that going to be
And July
community service?
1st, I get this.
I'll be here, by the way.
big one. The big one.
You'll be so used to being wearing without the lenses.
He looked like he was ready to go again.
Yeah.
When he waited for the jar, he started drooling.
In the past, when the old was used, they don't hit the slide jet the top off. When I would do that to him, I didn't want him to release dollars going coming out.
I don't know. I'm getting very rusty. I live in I don't miss it. Network stuff at night.
I don't think either one of those have.
You gotta run that work at night because
We had one.
Chris said I'll do a listserv plan for all managers. The more of them you get to know, the more of them will help you out. They all have some information, but they don't always.
I always wanted to.
I use it a lot. Just meet a lot of people. Father brought. They wouldn't even see there's plenty of people that do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Oh, yeah. The big one, he's eating headrests and all that. And that radar, he's chewing on radar cables. Yeah, he just chews on it.
No, that's okay. It's not an interrupt.
Christie mentioned something about Bill.
Maybe. We got Mr. Cotton.
Yeah, let me know if they'll.
And we had that gentleman for a long
No, it was late. So let me know.
Oh, well, I guess.
I might be interested.
I was freaking out when Mr. Martin passed away, and Charlie Cox has been doing it since. It must be fun. We don't pay him. It's like a volunteer club.
Yeah. It's like
He gets to come in here and tell everybody so.
And he has several other places.
All that, and he never misses. I think it's such a
What happens?
Now, you're a little afraid to request that people read.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd be bold enough to be the mayor.
Might be a little bit of my.
I'll tell you what, I will tell Mr. Cox that maybe sometimes he doesn't do stuff for him. He doesn't sit with the wife or doesn't go on a trip because he feels so tied up. So,
Tell him we don't do it, but I have to spend some time to see what happens.
We'll get you up here and let you just.
He doesn't do much. He doesn't do much. He's just here. No, he's got a clear picture. I remember, but Blue was based in the service. Like getting good with the lawyer. What? It take forever. That's it. Just stand there. No, you have to be guilty. Let's get it done. Not that I've ever done. I was on the good side.
And many
It's crazy.
I walked up. I was beginning. I know. I did. We do it at the club here. I was
Did you hear Kim and I were like,
do it in my house.
I got you 61.
That's what provided she's on.
I'll write that in the ordinance.
Put it on a mess. And then we figured.
Davis, I think.
You know, it's another.
Yeah,
He's got about everything on the house.
I come in here on Sundays and work a lot, so
You work on Sunday?
Sunday night it helps you Monday morning. Them 2 minutes of business.
No,
But,
vice president, vice president.
it's hot up there.
What do you got?
Davis got everything like energy.
I don't want to-
Now when I walk by, it's motion detector and it'll kick in, so it's cool, but it doesn't feel great to start with.
When I'm appointed.
You should call in 15 minutes. Downtime, then take it off.
He can play with you.
I can turn mine on and off.
Yeah. You ever talk to Chief Cocker? That guy can do anything.
He is a
He is a gadget.
money.
He is a gadget. One day he came, he was fixing them, and he walked out front. Said, look at those things I put on here. that the money? I said, what is that? He goes, it'll run deer off before I ever get near them. And I was like, so then we started having this problem with all of our backup cars, batteries were dead. So he ends up buying us a little thing that sticks on the dash, and then that's wired to the battery. It trickle charges the battery the whole time. So I got one for my boat after because your boat battery, you don't use it, and they don't last as long. So now we get in the cars with them, but he has got. So I got a doggone gadget.
I already know.
Here's where more than his house works.
I
Every ceiling fan, every TV,
Maybe that'll spur
Do you know where it is? No, that's what I wanted to know. It's all
I'll send you.
You have to have a.
I've seen it on. It's gotta be by the strip.
Did you ever
I'm not sure
find
the details.
horses on days?
We'll have a driver, a CDL driver that'll drive it.
28,000. Our projection is $8,689,897, which would be a savings in expenditures of $756,220. General fund revenue and expenditures for the next year. As you know, last year we budgeted a fund balance appropriation number of $278,727. That was so our revenue and expenditures could balance for the fiscal year. It's always our goal and intention not to use that money, and this year it doesn't look like we would use any of that plug number or use of our fund balance. On the projected revenue on $10,085,000, and the projected expenses are $8,689,000, creating a surplus of $1,395,279. As you know, most years we're generally hovering around break even. Back when the economy went down, I think we were almost $800,000 deficit. That was 2008, 2009. So certainly this was a better year. We were hoping for that. This budget that we're presenting tonight and also next year's budget is loaded with capital projects and expenditures that will be drawn down on various fund balances. This basically shows what we're looking at for next year, department by department. Compare 16, 17, 17, 18. These slides haven't changed. Basically, it shows that the fiscal year 17-18 budget, the budget is $603,155 more than last year's budget was. Total budget $10,049,270. All right, fiscal year 16-17, this is just another spreadsheet which shows the difference between department for department. The item highlighted in yellow in the 2017-18 column, the public works number is down because we created a new maintenance shop account. We'll talk about that in greater detail later. But basically, instead of outsourcing all of our repairs, we're going to hire a diesel mechanic foreman and do those repairs in-house. Our new public works facility has a lift and a shop, and we're equipped to do that. David Canarin's heads up our fleet, and we've run the numbers from the last few years. We anticipate a savings on parts without having to pay the markup, so that's buying directly. And also the hourly or per hour rate will be significantly less for us doing it in-house. This is just two-year budget comparison. The next year is higher across all departments, again, except public works and maintenance shop, and that's just the changes that I just discussed. Staffing for the coming year, administration, court, no changes. In the police department, as previously discussed, the victim's advocate position is going to be performed by a current member of our staff in records. We've used a civilian employee, and then we use a detective. But the individual that we're going to have do this is actually a civilian employee that is a retired police officer that works with us. So a lot of experience in law enforcement. So it looks like investigations has one more member, and it's because that position won't be tied down to doing victim theft. Help us work on more cases and hopefully solve more things. No changes in telecommunications, buildings and codes, fire administration, suppression, EMS. Public services admin, that's the incorporation of the public services clerk. That position will be at Public Works at all times, someone to answer the phone and give immediate feedback to the public, but also to help serve areas of need in the shop, ordering parts, also notifying employees that they're due for preventive maintenance, or your car's ready, or bring your car in, and all that good stuff. Health insurance coverage, as you know, a few years ago, we went with the state health plan. It's been one of the best benefits that we've brought to our employees. I pointed this out before. In 2017, we have 18 employees on family insurance. Prior to going to this plan, we had 2. It was very, very, very expensive. So we joined the largest group in the state. Those savings have come to us. Very fortunate we have very low deductibles and really good health insurance. We used to have a very large percentage of employees that were employee only on our health insurance. Oftentimes when they would get married, a life event, or they would have a child, insurance was one of the reasons they may want to go work somewhere else. Outside of the city of North Charleston, our plan is unrivaled in the area. North Charleston's self-insured, and our plan pretty much mirrors theirs. Other areas in Berkeley County and other cities and towns around, we definitely have really good insurance for the employees. Employee only, we're still 69%. Obviously, a lot of our employees are married, and their spouse already has insurance somewhere else, so that's what they use. And again, this shows that the folks who have a full family, employee spouse, and employee child. Salary and fringe by department. Each year, I say in our general fund, 65% of our general fund is salaries and fringe. Fringe being retirement and health insurance. One important thing to note is if you had a $30,000 a year employee, the city's paying about another $14,000 minimum for that employee in retirement and health insurance. So it's a significant addition to the salary. But this shows department by department what total salaries are. This is also a chart that shows full-time, part-time, but the very bottom line is the topic of note for this presentation. The state retirement system, you probably read a lot about that in the paper. Trying to make sure our state legislators trying to make sure it's solvent, it's there when the folks need it. Some of the increases we've seen this year is our contribution to each employee will go up 2% this budget year. We have also budgeted a 1% cost of living and a 2% merit. It's basically 5% more toward the employee in this year's budget. The state has recently, since the last time we met, voted on a couple of measures for the city to be able to get back the 2% increase this year for the employer contributions. One is a direct funds, and the other one is a credit when we make our quarterly payments to the retirement system. This is our investment fund. It shows how much we have in the general operating fund, our fleet service fund, our building fund, property tax relief fund. Basically, just so everybody understands, in Berkeley County, there's a sales tax, and everybody that spends in Berkeley County, that money goes in the pool. It comes in the form of a rebate to property owners, but also revenue to the city. Those funds are just like tax funds, and they get transferred as our auditor tells us and what the amount is to the actual general operating fund account. Our TIF fund, or tax increment financing fund, that's what we've been having the council meetings and workshops in Charette for. That's basically what we'll use for our downtown revitalization project. We got collections still ongoing this year, and we'll also have collections next year. Our annual collections are in the mid $400,000 range. Capital Projects Fund, $480,000, that's just basically funds, the Capital Projects Fund and the Building Fund are monies we use for various projects. Capital Project Funds, a lot of times are for impact fees, and they have very specific projects that they have to get to, whether it be Fire Department, Recreation Department, or Public Works Department. The Building Fund can go toward any project. It can go toward a TIF project. We use those funds for the amphitheater, use them for trails and any number of things. A lot of times we're using those funds for repairs. We're in a nice building here, and it still looks new to most people, but the air conditions the original air conditioning units are breaking one or two a year, it seems like right now that we're cycling those out. Our year-to-date fund balance is $10,940,000. And again, I said it earlier, when I stand up here next year and the year after, I'll be saying footnotes on why it's so much lower than it was this year, because we're actually getting ready to draw that down with a lot of the projects that we have coming up. And I'll talk about those projects as we go. That's the fund balance. The fund balance growth. The major reason that jumped as much as it did was the $1,150,000 sale of the land to the school district. That's a major reason why the number jumps as much as it did. And also our savings. Also across the street at First Citizens Bank, we have several operating accounts that we use, and that's what we draw from each time we do payroll. There's $702,000 in that account. So if you add that to our fund balances, $11,642,000. So we're in good position as a city for any emergency that might come up, or if the economy does something crazy again. This is really important to get us through those times. Budgeted revenues. I'll go over some of these. Ad valorem taxes. We're budgeting an increase of $350,000. That is basically from the 29% retention in the local option sales tax. Business licenses, things are really moving and going on pretty good right now. Slowed down for a while, so we budgeted a little more of that next year, along with building permits. The SCE&G franchise fee, we've increased $25,000. That's a major source of revenue for us. We've got it budgeted at $1,175,000. We talked last meeting about solar panels and all that other stuff going on, and what kind of impact that could potentially have, and we'll know more about that as we go down the road. Interest earned, we increased $35,000. I've stated before, in 2006, 7, 8, and 9, the city was getting between $250,000 and $300,000 a year interest on our funds. So even though our fund balance is significantly greater than it's ever been, the interest rate that we're getting on our investments is still low. But it's starting to tick up. So we've increased it. $60,000 looks a lot better than what last year's budget number was, but it's still a couple $100,000 less than it was at one time. That was a significant hit when the economy was down all by itself. EMS fees, we've increased $20,000. We have gone through an in-depth process with our medic unit to try to get more efficient, make improvements in every way we can. Chief Bowers and admin staff, they hired a consultant initially. The Dorchester County EMS director, I believe, is who did it. She is about as good as anybody in this area around, and she came in and said, you can do this better, you can do this better, you can do this better, and what we found was efficiencies across several different areas. So we got some new software, new supervision over at the fire department, really honing in on the reports each time the folks come in. We also changed our billing agent. We were paying, I believe it was 10% before, and we hired a new billing agent that's 5%.
That's correct.
It's 5%, and the new billing agent gave us the laptops and all that other stuff that we need as part of the contract. And the new billing agent it's a team of people instead of an individual, so they're really getting after it, doing a lot more collections. Started with Courtney, and I believe Dave was involved, and now Christy, and we have Callie in the court. the debt set-off program. We also created an avenue to where if money is owed, we can get our money back because the state income tax return would be withheld for that amount for us to get our funds. And that's proven to be a great way to get the funds. And the state of South Carolina set that up as a way to be able to do that. Youth programs at the very bottom. I said it at the last meeting. If you looked in your council packet tonight and you looked at the recreation department programs, and if you had a packet from 6 or 7 or 8 years ago, it's unbelievable how much it's changed. Just the diversity of the offerings, and the staff really hasn't grown a whole lot. So they're just really getting after it over there. If you want to see something really crazy, go to summer camp over there during the daytime right now. It's absolutely packed. But also the sports camps and the robotics team, all the litany of things they got going on. So if you just looking at that packet, just the senior center calendar alone, and everything going on at the senior center. So they're really, the folks over there love what they do. They love Parks and Recreation. You can tell. Recreation grants, that's another area they've been successful in. It seems like Randy gets one every year. This year we got a grant to locate a playground at the current city park. That city park is decades old and it's never had a playground. So most people who have kids that participate out there have other siblings that get drug along, and it'd be nice to have a playground for them to go to or something to play on after the game. Senator Grooms was a big help in this. He contacts us every year to make sure we get our packet in. He heads up the Berkeley delegation in this area, and we've been very fortunate that we've got. Youth camp also up $10,000, and I mentioned that earlier. FEMA reimbursement, we put $100,000 in next year's budget. We think we'll do better than that. But basically all the repairs that we have ongoing and coming up from Hurricane Matthew. The trail is going to be an expensive project out at the city park, and some other things that we got to do. So that's basically FEMA reimbursement. It's a real big number next year, and hopefully it'll be zero the next year. It'll be 100,000 less in revenue than what you're looking at. Obviously, that 100,000 isn't just revenue we keep. It's got direct offsetting expenses, so it's just hopefully neutral. We're trying to get as much money as we can. I want to say a few days after we hired Christy, we said, hey, you're not only our finance director, you're our FEMA coordinator. And she speaks FEMA really well. And I see her in the conference room, and she's done a super job on making sure that we get everything that we could possibly get from FEMA. 911 revenue is the one negative number I got pointed out that's kind of big. That's not anything of concern. All it is less of a reimbursement. We bought some pretty big pieces of equipment in 911 last year, and it's 80% reimbursable. So it's really about the best deal we got in the city. This year in the budget, we're in really good shape in our 911 center. Those folks do a great job too. So the reimbursement will just be less next year, but also the expenses will be less. Reimbursement for body cameras, I highlighted that one. The reason why that's 31,000 negative is we bought all the body cameras, so our officers have the body cameras. It's been a great tool for us. And then the negative transfer from fund balance. This year's budget is the first budget that I put together, and I didn't see any prior to me to where there wasn't a plug number associated with it. A lot of cities in town never use a plug number. Revenue has to be greater than expenses, and that's how they operate. So this year, there's no plug number in this year's budget. This is the local option sales tax property tax relief fund. If we collect what we're anticipating, and this is a conservative number, $1,359,894 will go back to our residents in a tax rebate off their property taxes. $277,000 will go to our fleet fund, $166,000 to facility maintenance fund, which is our building fund, and $111,090 to our capital projects fund. So those funds that you saw earlier, this is the revenue source to keep those going. Now, I won't go over all of these. These are the capital requests, department by department. The first sheet is David's. First couple of sheets, those are mostly recurring expenses, just IT related. Randy Moneymaker, in Public Works, those are his purchases this year. That I said at last meeting, Snap-on and Solus Ultras is basically as diagnostics and so checks that we do. David just put a user word in there for us. Police Department, list of items, or capital items for the police department, a couple of pages. Also Larry, the building department, very little. Fire department, so the big one is a $26,000 Phillips monitor. Our assistant chief is a paramedic. We haven't had an assistant chief as a paramedic, or somebody in, even a battalion chief or captain role as a paramedic since I believe Byron did reload. So it's been a while. So basically, we'll have that as a backup cardiac monitor, and it'll be in the unit with our assistant chief. It wouldn't surprise me if there are calls in the future where our assistant chief gets to the call before the ambulance, and we'll have the benefit of having this cardiac monitor. So this is going to be a big asset for our fire department. Rec maintenance, the big item is a 60-inch mower. As you know, I mean, they burn those things up, and they make them last a long time, but we need one next year. And then this next line item, or actually it's $92,961. That's all the equipment needed for the new fire truck that's budgeted. So basically, that fire truck comes fully equipped, and then our backup truck will also be fully equipped. But we're purchasing that out of the fleet account. This is our impact fees. This is something we have to keep up with every year. Folks pay impact fees for commercial projects and residential projects, and that money has to be used for very specific purposes. Our impact fee schedule says what the money can be used for and what the money can't be used for. A couple of big projects we have coming up. We have the purchase of a fire truck, but we'll also have recreation trails. That's $65,000 that has to be spent by June 30th of this year. We will spend more than that on the trail project, so it'll be good. What you want to look for is parentheses. You want to see that you've spent more than you've collected for the time, and we've done that. But the 53-acre park is also a impact fee project. So by the time the city goes in and develops a 53-acre park, we'll never collect enough impact fees to totally pay for that. And obviously, without annexation, we have a build-out coming up anyway, where our city is totally built out. Fleet presentation. This talks about the maintenance shop, how we went department by department. We pulled out all of those maintenance costs, and that's what we built the fleet department out of. As I've said before, this is a revenue and expense neutral change we made. Yeah, we're getting a diesel mechanic foreman, but we're paying for that with expenditures we've already had. So we haven't added a position to the budget that impacts the expenses. Basically, every line item that had fleet maintenance, fleet tires, fleet lubricants, equipment maintenance, it's all been moved to the maintenance shop. And these are the positions, or the staff positions. We already have a mechanic at the Public Works Department. Leon's been here forever. 30-something years as a mechanic, CDL driver. Maybe a future grapple truck driver, I don't really know. And this basically shows the makeup of that department, or the maintenance shop. Police department, 4 vehicles in this year's budget. They'll all be SUVs. We've had a lot of luck with the Ford Explorers. The price is great. They handle really well. I mean, the maintenance has been really good. So it's been a good vehicle for us. So there are 4 of those in this year's budget. We provided information to council, so you can see all of our fleet cars. And the vehicles that we're getting rid of are all high mileage. And 150,000 is normally our threshold. And I've heard people before say, well, what if the car's still really good at 150,000? A lot of times we make it an SRO car, or maybe a buildings and codes or a recreation car. But it's important to note that a police car with 150,000 miles has a lot of idle time on it. That's a big difference versus your car. They might be sitting idling for hours and hours and hours. Fire truck, $589,000. Fire truck, the plan is to do a 7-year lease purchase, put $100,000 down. We'll pay taxes, the $300 tax bill on not only the truck, but also all the equipment that goes on the truck instead of item by item. It takes about 10 months at the fastest, probably closer to 12 months to build one of these things. But basically, we'll have a new fire truck within the year. Grapple truck. This is something that we talked about, and boy, we really needed badly after Hurricane Matthew. Our public works department is probably the only folks still around that are using the pitchfork in the back of the garbage truck to pick up yard debris. So this grapple truck is a new one and a used one. As I've said before, having only one of something is really scary. Once we start doing this is how we'll do it. It's tough to go back. So basically, we'll have the new truck and the used truck. We should be able to get a used truck really quickly. And we've got some leads on some new trucks we might be able to get quickly. But if not, the build out for a new truck is just like a fire truck. So it's going to take a while to get here. But with the used truck, we'll be able to get going right away. Capital projects. We have 4 of them in next year's budget. The Village Renaissance Grant, Parks and Recreation Development Grant, our PARD grant, Tanner Plantation Foster Creek Trail, and the Town Center Downtown Revitalization. The Village Renaissance Grant, that's basically some security cameras and sidewalk along Berkeley Street. It's part 2 of a 3-part grant cycle. We're eligible for $500,000 the next round of the grant. But this round of the grant is scheduled to be done by September 15th of this year. And basically it'll run the sidewalk the entire length of Berkeley Street. When I was coming into work at the end of the school year, and I rode down that road, and it's just a bunch of kids walking down the middle of the road trying to get to school. So this will not only be a good pedestrian path just at all hours, but a really good safe routes to school project. This grant also included the ALPR that's already located, the automatic license plate reader that's already located on Berkeley Street in Murray, and that thing's already been beneficial to our police department. The Parks and Recreation Development Grant, $41,875 is what we'll have for a playground. Our match is $8,375, so the grant funds that the rec department was able to secure was $33,500. It always amazes me at how little you can get for so much money on a playground. They last a long time, but you see $41,000 playground, and you're thinking, wow, I can't wait to see that great big playground. And it'll be a good one, but it's never as big as anybody thinks. Tanner Plantation Foster Creek Trail Phase 2. This is the phase that will be funded by the city. The gardens, the Bilo, will be about $40,000 to complete that trail section. Weaver's Way to Williams Lane, $125,000. Those are the connections that are really important, not only to the shopping district, but also our new elementary school that's scheduled to be open next fall. So. And then, as you know, we've got another $500,000 grant for Phase 3. That'll go from Williams Lane all the way to Laurelwood. And the final project, the Town Center Downtown Revitalization, that's basically a map of the area. Total projected funds, we'll know how much, what our budget's going to be for this coming up. I've said it before, the TIF funds, the school district, the county, and the city all forfeit those funds every year. And they go into an account managed by the city. And if the city loses about $100,000 a year in our general fund over the course of this TIF project, because it's been going toward all these projects. So whenever the TIF expires, the school district and the county and the city will now get those funds to go in our general funds. In theory, you'll get more funds than you would have gotten if none of this stuff would have happened, because values go up and it's beneficial for the city. I said before, the gymnasium, the senior center, the amphitheater were some public facilities that the money went to. And this downtown revitalization or the Gavin Hall corridor project will be the final part of the TIF project. So the city would have the ability, we haven't been living on that $100,000, but our cost estimates come back maybe a little higher than what we're thinking. We would have the ability to use those funds for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it might take, to be able to finish the project. That's it.
Any questions for Mr. Pritt?
I have one quick question. The playground for the rec fields, has that already been